Merry Christmas.
The Midwest supporting, Bruiser loving, positivity spreading, world's most dangerous podcast. Join former pro wrestler and promoter Dave Dynasty as he supports and promotes Midwest pro wrestling. Keep on growing with the Midwest Express. This is the Dave Dynasty Show.
Greetings and welcome to the Dave Dynasty Show. I'm your host, Dave Dynasty. Thank you for joining us, and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone out there. Hopefully you can find a little solace in this time, given the year we've had here in 2020. But remember, I'm going to get this out of the way up front. Just be safe with whatever you do. Be smart with gatherings and being around people. Remember, let's play the long game here and not the short sprint. But happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you all. And hopefully you have a good week. This is Christmas week now for 2020. And we're going to do something special today. It's going to be a repeat, but it's something that everybody enjoys. We are going to replay my coverage, my look at the WWA Christmas shows of the past. These are fun, these are exciting, and make sure you follow us on social media. On Twitter, it's at the Dave Dynasty. On Facebook, you can look me up, it's Dave Dynasty, or you can go to the Dave Dynasty Show page. And all those avenues, I will also be posting the newspaper clippings that correspond to these shows, the ads, the lineups, the articles, anything associated with them will be posted up there so that you get a full experience. You can hear about the shows, plus look at the newspaper materials that go along with them. And like I said, everyone's always enjoyed this. We've done this for a couple years now, and we're going to continue to do it. This is actually our fourth holiday special we've done. The first 2 years were kind of goofy and things, so if you want to go back and hear those, they're there. And then since then, we've done this repeat coverage of the WWA Christmas shows. But not to stray too far from the goofy. Smattered within this episode will be two holiday songs that I did in the past. I do not know why I need to repeatedly humiliate myself with my singing, but they're there. One is a Christmas tune. Well, it's not really Christmas, but it's to the tune of a Christmas song about Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan. The other is the 12 Days of Midwest Wrestling. So enjoy those. You can mock me for my singing all you want, but hey, it's all in good fun. So let's take a break, and we will come back and dive right into the festivities, so stick around. Are you looking for the ultimate stocking stuffers for this holiday season? And look no further, because our sponsor Manscaped has the tools to make you win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition. Manscaped is the only brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene products. And great news, they just released their products across Europe, Canada, and Australia. I love the Manscaped products. They're great. I use them regularly on a daily basis. I'm excited every day when I get to use these products and groom myself. A few other products that are prime stocking stuffers this season are the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. The name speaks for itself. The Crop Reviver Ball Toner, a spray-on toner that will give your balls a little slice of heaven with their aloe vera and hazel extracts. The Crop Cleanser Body Wash, a full body wash that you can also use on your hair. The Crop Mop Ball Wipes. You never know when an opportunity strikes, so you should always be prepared. The Foot Duster Foot Deodorant, designed to keep the stinkiest of feet smelling fresh. And the Shears 2.0 is a luxury 4-piece nail kit. You're going to want this in your grooming arsenal. The Weed Whacker Nose and Hair Trimmer, it provides proprietary skin-safe technology to get rid of those nasty nose hairs. This might be my favorite of the Manscaped products. And let's not forget about the best trimmer for your butt, balls, and body. The Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer offers a replaceable ceramic blade with advanced skin-safe technology, which helps reduce grooming accidents. These formulations are all vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, and paraben-free, so you know their products are legit. And as a listener of the Dave Dynasty Show, you get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code DYNASTY20. Again, go to manscaped.com, get 20% off and free shipping by using the code DYNASTY20. So whether this is a gift for your partner, your dad, your brother, your friend, or for yourself, get them something that they will actually use, and it's almost sure to get a laugh. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code DYNASTY20. That is DYNASTY20. And be the ballsiest gift giver this year with Manscaped.
You know Corny and Fuji, Albano and Dylan, Wizard and Heyman, and Hard and Creechman. But do you recall most famous manager of all? Bobby Pretty Boy Heenan was the greatest of all time, and if you ever saw him, you would marvel at his mind. Bruiser and old Crusher used to laugh and call him Weasel. They always said that Bobby was nothing but spoiled and evil. Night after night and town after town, Bobby would bump and bleed. He'd insult all the humanoids. Ham and eggers you are indeed. Then all the fans would hate him, and they paid to see him beat Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan. You're the best in history.
We're going to talk about the WWA Indianapolis Christmas shows that started in 1964 and ran until 1981. Now, there might have been other WWA Christmas shows after that. Results are kind of sketchy. There is a thought to be 1982 Christmas show that was in Hammond, Indiana, but there are no results for that show. So we're just covering from 1964 to 1981. Some great shows. We're going to go over the results of these shows, some notes, and my opinions on some things. So if you are a stats kind of person that likes the results, likes a lot of names, you're going to love this episode. And if not, forgive us. It might be a little bit of a rough ride for you today. Thank you for joining us, though, like I said, and Merry Christmas. And let's jump right into it. As you know, the WWA was formed by Dick the Bruiser and Wilbur Snyder in 1964. And in that same year, on Christmas night, December 25th, they held their first Christmas spectacular show. And it was a very, very strong show. In the main event of the show, Johnny Valentine and Wilbur Snyder, wrestled to a no decision. Basically, it was a double count out. Snyder took the first fall. Valentine won the second. It says both wrestlers went over the rope onto the floor, and they could not return to the ring. So basically, a double count out. It was a draw for the U.S. title. That would have been a great match to see, Valentine and Snyder. Both those guys super tough and super talented. Of course, Snyder, one of the best technical wrestlers, scientific wrestlers of all time, and Valentine, a very tough brawler. Not afraid to make the guy know that he's in the ring with him. So that would have been a great, great match. Some of the other results of that show, Boris and Nikolai Volkov, not that Nikolai Volkov, the original Nikolai Volkov. They defeated the Scuffling Hillbillies. Bubba Brazil beat Jack Wilson. Calvin Pullen defeated Roger Kirby, that is soon to be the Prince Pullen. And Angelo Poffo wrestled to a draw with Luis Montero. That is the 1964 Christmas show, held on Christmas nights in the first year of the WWA operations. 1965 at the Fairgrounds Coliseum, also held on Christmas night, which was a Saturday. In the main event of that show, Dick the Bruiser defeated Gene Kiniski to win the WWA Heavyweight Championship. It says the crowd is reported as being 5,200. And all these results, by the way, I did not mention this. I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. All these results, if you follow on social media, particularly on Facebook, you either follow me or follow the show, but we'll also probably put them on Twitter. You will see the newspaper clippings for all these shows, the ads, any little write-ups, and the results from all these shows so that you can look at them and follow along as we discuss them. So again, Christmas night 1965, Bruiser defeating Gene Kiniski to regain the WWA title. Other matches, Wilbur Snyder and Moose Cholak, captured the tag titles from the Assassins. Johnny Valentine defeated Bobo Brazil by DQ. Angelo Poffo and Sweet Daddy Long wrestled to a draw. Ray Gordon pinned Masked Hercules. And in what they're billing as a special midget event, the Jamaican Kid beat Susie Cubid. Not familiar with either of those guys. But there you have it, 1965 Christmas night. Let's move on to 1966. The show was held on December 28th. In the results, the main event, Bruiser and Crusher defeated... Bruiser and Crusher wrestled to a no decision with Angelo Poffo and Chris Markoff, the Devil's Duo there. Other matches, Wilbur Snyder and Mitsu Arakawa was a no decision. Joe Lanza defeated Moose Cholak. Igor Volkov and Mario Milan wrestled to a draw. There's lots of draws on this show here. Joe Tommaso defeated Lynn Rossi. Darlene Dagmar and Betty Bouchette defeated Diamond Lily and Tony Rose. And then it says the follow-up show, just for a note, was on January 21st there at the Coliseum, following the follow-up Coliseum show. So that was 1966 Christmas show held on December 28th. Then we get to December 27th, 1967, also held at the Fairgrounds Coliseum. Main event, Wilbur Snyder lost the WWA title to Black Jack Lanza. And also Mitsu Arakawa and Dr. Boto lost the tag titles to Bruiser and Crusher. Other matches, Paul Christie pinned Dennis Dolly. Assassin number 2 pinned Doug Gilbert. Lord Littlebrook pinned Mighty Adam. And Yukon Moose Cholak defeated Johnny Powers. So there you have it, 1967. Snyder-Lanza would have been a great match. Lanza starting to his run there as champion, defeating Wilbur Snyder for the title. Okay, in 1968, the show was held on December 27th at the Coliseum State Fairgrounds. Now, the main event was billed as Blackjack Lanza defeating the title against Edward Carpentier. I always have so much trouble defeating his, pronouncing his name. Anyway, he didn't show, right? He was not at this show. I'm not sure the details there. But the crowd did not go home empty-handed, as Dick the Bruiser substituted, and he defeated Lanza in a non-title match. So instead, they had to see Bruiser, as the newspaper said, Bruiser whipped Lanza 2 out of 3 falls. Other matches, the Chain Gang defeated Bruiser and Yukon Moose Cholak 2 out of 3 falls. Louis Martinez defeated Chris Markoff. Angelo Poffo and Paul Christie wrestled to a draw. Prince Bullens defeated Ken Russett. And Johnny Case and the Assassin wrestled to a draw. Not Johnny Ace, not John Laurinaitis. Not happening there. So that was 1968. And then in 1969, the show was held on December the 28th at the Coliseum State Fairgrounds. And in the main event, a match that I would absolutely have loved to have seen. The Chain Gang defeated the Fabulous Kangaroos to defend the tag titles. Unbelievable there. I'm a huge fan of tag team wrestling. I would have loved to have seen that match. Again, the Chain Gang defeating the Fabulous Kangaroos to retain the tag titles. Bobo Brazil was disqualified in his match with Baron von Raschke. Wilbur Snyder and the Sheik wrestled to a draw when both were counted out. Paul Christie pinned Joe Tommaso. Angelo Poffo pinned Jay Vallon. And Apache Chief Louie defeated Bobby Heenan. Pretty boy Bobby Heenan, right? That's who we're talking there. What a show that would have been. The Kangaroos, the Chain Gang, Snyder, Sheik, Bobo, the Baron, Bobby Heenan, Angelo Poffo. I mean, that is a stacked card there in 1969. I would have loved to have seen that show. 1970, the Christmas special, as it is billed, was held on December 26th at the Coliseum Fairgrounds. And in the main event, Wilbur Snyder and Moose Cholak defeated the Fabulous Kangaroos to win the World Tag Titles. And in the second top event, Baron von Raschke beat Bobo Brazil to defend the WWA title. Other matches, it says Igor Vodik defeated Mitsu Arakawa. Dr. Bill Miller defeated Louis Martinez. Ivan Kalmikov defeated Bull Ramos. And Jackie Dillinger
and Paul Christie wrestled to a draw. Igor Vankov. Okay. You got a little confused there. I was reading the results. That's the Mighty Igor there, right? Mighty Igor defeated Vince. You're not used to seeing the last name thrown in there. But, yeah, there you have it. It's the Mighty Igor. And it's kind of ironic because in the leading up to the show, in all the promotional materials, it's listed as, Jackie Fargo, right? Of course, Jackie Fargo, the famous Memphis wrestler. And the results, it's listed as Jack Dillinger or Jackie Dillinger. But Jackie Dillinger also wrestled as Don Fargo. So I'm not sure where in all this mix, because even the ad and everything, it's listed as Jackie Fargo versus Paul Christie. And in the results, it's listed as Jackie Dillinger and Paul Christie. So, and again, Jackie Dillinger was Don Fargo. So I'm not sure where the communications were confused on that, on the name mix-ups. But I'm pretty sure it was Jack Dillinger or Don Fargo in that show, and not Jackie Fargo. But then in 1971, on December 29th at the Coliseum, in the main event for the tag titles, Blackjack Lanza and Blackjack Mulligan defeated Wilbur Snyder and Sailor Art Thomas to retain their titles. Yukon Moose Jolak defeated Baron von Raschke in what was billed as a lumberjack match. So I'm not sure the results do not denote that, but it does say in the ad leading up that it was a lumberjack match. And then Bill and Stan Miller defeated Joe Furr and Paul Christie. Jim Dillinger and the Professor wrestled to a draw. Jack Mann and Jim Grabmeyer wrestled to a draw. And in the results it says Vernon LaRue, but it actually should be Venus LaRue, defeated Mary Jane Mole. Again, it always makes you wonder when you see these old results where the communication broke down. And the type is that sent or called in from the office that way when these are happening, or how is that? But lots of name mistakes, or is it at the newspaper side? And then 1972 held on Tuesday, December 26th, the Christmas special. In the main event, the Crusher and Baron von Raschke wrestled to a draw for the title, Baron's title. So Baron retained the title. The Blackjacks, Lanza and Mulligan, defeated Wilbur Snyder and Cowboy Bob Ellis to defend the tag titles. Ernie Ladd defeated Gilbert Guerrero. The Mongolian Stomper defeated Frankie Adonis. Mitsu Arakawa and Higo Hamaguchi defeated Red Cloud and Bold Eagle. Johnny Case defeated Prince Pullins. Jimmy Valiant defeated Tom Lynch. And then get this, in a special attraction, the Wrestling Bear, Terrible Ted, defeated Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan. Now, this was such a big deal, right? Such a big draw. They had the main ad where it was listing it out, but they did run an ad for the show just pretty much promoting the Bear versus Heenan with Bobby's picture in there. That would have been a great match, knowing the way Heenan worked and the way he bumped and the way he sold things and how he expressed things. To see him wrestle the Bear Terrible Ted would have been pretty incredible to see. So that gets us up through 1972. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll pick it back up with 1973. So stick around. If you are looking for the best books, DVDs, and posters on classic wrestling nostalgia, then you want to visit crowbarpress.com. There are literally dozens of titles there, including biographies of the likes of Bruiser Brody, Ole Anderson, Ivan Koloff, and of course, Dick the Bruiser, as we've spoke about here on the Dave Dynasty Show. You want to visit crowbarpress.com for all of your classic wrestling nostalgia needs. Again, that is crowbarpress.com. All right, and welcome back. Here we go. Let's jump right back into it with 1973 WWA Indianapolis Christmas show held on December 26th. Now, this is a pretty, the card's billed as Christmas Spectacular, and it truly is spectacular. It is billed in the ad leading up as it's the biggest. 2 rings side by side, 2 battle royals at the same time,
24 wrestlers, $20,000 in prizes. How about that? 2 12-man battle royals. They had $10,000 going to each winner. This was a big, big show. And the winners of those 2 battle royals were Pepper Gomez and Bruno Sammartino. That's right. We're in the stretch where Bruno was working for Bruiser in the WWA. And him and Pepper Gomez win the 2 battle royals at the Expo Center on December 26, 1973. The other matches that were on the show, Wilbur Snyder defeated Cowboy Parker. Billy Red Cloud defeated Baron von Raschke. Jim Valiant defeated the Professor. Pepper Gomez and Ernie Ladd wrestled to a draw. Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan defeated Louis Martinez. Cowboy Bob Ellis defeated Ken Dillinger. Bruno Sammartino defeated John Valiant. And Yukon Moose Cholak whipped Mitsu Arakawa. So that's 1973. How cool would it have been to see those 2 battle royals, see Bruno in Indianapolis? Would have been a very, very cool show. That's a big show. Lots going on there. 1974, the show was held at the Expo Center on December 26th. In the main event, the Sheik defeated Cowboy Bob Ellis. The Sheik making an appearance in Indianapolis. And the tag team of Mike Snyder and Paul Christie defeated Kim Duck and Mark Manson. Now, that would have been a very interesting match because, let me tell you, I know I am biased to Midwest Wrestling, but Mike Snyder and Mark Manson are 2 of the most underrated talents in professional wrestling history in my mind. Both of them athletic, both of them good workers. Mark Manson was a bump machine. The man was unbelievable, known for his work with the Graduates, but dude could work, right? Because that would have been a great match. I would like to have seen, especially the interactions with Snyder and Manson in that match. No disrespect meant to the other 2 men, but I would have loved to have seen that. Other matches on the show, Bobo Brazil defeated Ox Baker by DQ. John Fargo and Jacques Goulet defeated Pepper Gomez and Wilbur Snyder. Eddie Creechman was disqualified in an arm wrestling match with Sam Miniker. Of course he was, right? Has there ever been an arm wrestling match on a wrestling show that did not end in some dubious fashion with a DQ? Probably not. You know what you're going to get when you go into it. Bobby Bold Eagle defeated Mark Manson. Bill Miller defeated Clem Turner. And the Mighty Igor defeated Ricky Hamilton. So a very good show there in my eyes. The Sheik and Bob Ellis would have been a great, great main event to see on that show. 1979, the show, was held on December 26th at the Expo Center. And in the main event, Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher teamed up and beat the Legionnaires in a cage match in front of 7,000 fans, it's reported. Would have been a great, great main event. Bruiser, Crusher, the Legionnaires in a cage. That alone would have put the people in the door. In other matches, Pepper Gomez defeated Ox Baker to retain the WWA title. And on the undercard, Moose Cholak defeated Ferdinand Pantera. Spike Huber defeated Ken Dillinger. Wilbur Snyder wrestled to a draw with the Strangler. Chuck O'Connor defeated Duke George. And Chief Bold Eagle defeated Rodeo Jones. Chuck O'Connor, an interesting name there. A lot of you might not be familiar with the name Chuck O'Connor, but you would be familiar with one of his later incarnations, as Chuck O'Connor would later be Big John Studd, getting his start there in Indianapolis and wrestling on that show. 1976, the show was held on December 27th at the Expo Center. In the main event, the Sheik and Eddie Creechman defeated Dick the Bruiser and Sam Miniker. What a match that would have been. Anytime you get Sheik and Bruiser involved in a match, it would have... it's going to be, it's going to be something, right? It's going to be violent. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be hard hitting. Other matchers. What does that even mean? The Strangler defeated Ox Baker by disqualification to defend the WWA title. The Bounty Hunters and Wilbur Snyder and Bobo Brazil wrestled to a double disqualification. Steve Regal defeated Luke Klein. That right there, right? I'm telling you, that would have been a great match there. Steve Regal, the future Mr. Electricity, future at this point, one half of the AWA tag titles, champions, wrestling Luke Klein, who's another underrated talent, beyond belief there. Steve Regal, Luke Klein would have been a great match. Paul Christie defeated Rick Hamilton. Bill Shirk, who was from WXLW, a local radio station, he wrestled, and he was in a straitjacket, teaming with Spike Huber, and they defeated Handsome Johnny Starr and Cashbox Kent, who was in handcuffs. So there you have it. That's wrestling for you right there. You have a radio DJ in a straitjacket teaming with Spike Huber to defeat Cashbox Kent, a manager here, in handcuffs, and Handsome Johnny Starr. And then also Moose Cholak defeated Ken Dillinger. Bobby Bold Eagle defeated Buck Robley. What a wacky card that is. Then 1977 at the Expo Center in Indianapolis on December 26th, the Christmas Spectacular. This main event right here would have been one I would have loved to have seen as well. I know I say that a lot, but they're billing it in the ads leading up as USA versus Russia, a cage match, and $10,000 on the line, no disqualification, anything goes, and they are specifically billing it in these ads that this match will not be seen on TV, right? You got to come in person to see this match. 1977. And what you had is Dick the Bruiser defeating Ivan Koloff to win the WWA title. They're reporting 9,300 people in the Expo Center to watch this show. That is amazing. That match, I mean, Bruiser and Koloff in a cage for the title. Spectacular. And then in the other matches, you got the Valiant Brothers successfully defending the tag titles against Wilbur Snyder and Dominique DeNucci. The Sheik and Moose Cholak battle to a draw. Spike Huber and Steve Regal, the Young Lions there, defeating Don Kent and Killer Verdot in a tag match. And Mike Snyder defeated Ken Dillinger, and the Big Wiz defeated Ivan Volkov. Big Wiz later to be the Hooded Hangman for the WWA and wrestling in the main events of his own. Rob Westman, who we had on the show. Rest in peace, Rob. There he is. So that's 1977. That is a amazing show there that they're giving you. December 26, 1978 was the next year's Christmas show held at the Expo Center. They are billing this as a triple main event. So here we go. Okay, let's get through this here. The triple main event, we have a Texas death match. Madman Mitchell, that is Guy Mitchell, defeating Dick the Bruiser. And you may not recognize the name Guy Mitchell. He would later become Gentleman Jerry Valiant, wrestling with the Valiant Brothers. Jim and John would go to WWF and win the tag titles with them. But here he is wrestling as Guy Mitchell in one of his incarnations. He would come back and work for WWE a lot with the Gentleman Jerry Valiant gimmick. But here he is, Guy Mitchell, defeating Dick the Bruiser in a Texas death match. Other matches on this show, we have Wilbur Snyder defeated John Valiant in a match that was originally billed leading up to it as the Sheik versus Wilbur Snyder for the U.S. title. Sheik was not on this show for whatever reason. Ended up being Wilbur Snyder defeating John Valiant. Bobo Brazil defeated Roger Kirby. Moose Cholak defeated Leo Seitz. Bobby Bold Eagle defeated the Black Saint. Big Wiz defeated Jim Grabmeyer. And then Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan and Paul Christie defeated Spike Huber and Pepper Gomez. It's funny because in these results, Paul Christie, they're spelling Christie Cheristie. I don't know what that is. Completely butchering the name there, but it is indeed Paul Christie. 1979 at the Expo Center, the show was held on December 26th, and in the results, and what is billed as a Sissy Flag tag team match that will not be seen on TV, by the way. Dick the Bruiser and Spike Huber defeated Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan and Paul Christie. These are the kind of things that were formerly called a Gestapo death match, I believe is what they called it, that Bruiser would wrestle Baron von Raschke. They kind of changed the name. Now it's a Sissy Flag match. Basically, they are seconded. The teams are seconded by someone. Bruiser and Huber had Sam Miniker. Heenan and Christie had Tiny Hampton in there, or Reverend Hampton, in their corner and waving the flag. So that's what it is. Bruiser and Huber defeated Heenan and Christie. Moose Cholak defeated King Kong Brody. Reverend Hampton defeated Dust Savage. Bobo Brazil wrestled to a draw with Dr. Jerry Graham Jr., friend of the show, who is also the host of Graham's Gallery here that you hear on this show. The Cuban Assassin defeated Greg Lake. Greg Lake, another friend of the show who we've had on in the past, would later be known as the Patriot in WWA. Wilbur Snyder defeated Ox Baker. Miss Bunny Love defeated Alice Cooper. No, not the rock and roll Alice Cooper. This is the female wrestler Alice Cooper. And El Bracero, another friend of the show who we've had on in the past, defeated the Black Saint. So you can kind of see the lineup, the roster here shifting as we approach the 80s. You see a lot of familiar names that were in Indianapolis at that time starting to make their marks. And then, so let's hit the 80s. In 1980, on December 25th, Christmas night, the Christmas Spectacular at the Expo Center. In the main event, Dick the Bruiser defeated Baron von Raschke. Spike Huber and Wilbur Snyder defeated Dr. Jerry Graham Jr. and Don Kent. One of my favorite tag teams of all time. I know I talk about underrated talents on this. I've mentioned it a lot here tonight, or on this episode. Dr. Jerry Graham Jr. and Don Kent were a great tag team. I love them. So, but they took the loss here this night. Chief Bold Eagle defeated Mark Manson. Sheik Ali Hassan defeated Yukon Moose Cholak. Bobo Brazil defeated Reverend Hampton and Paul Christie in a handicap match. So that was the 1980 show, and we only got one more, 1981. And this time it's held at Market Square Arena, which just opened up in 1974 there in Indianapolis. And on this night, December 27th, 1981, they're holding the Christmas show there. In the main event, the Bruiser, Dick the Bruiser, and Spike Huber wrestled to a 1-hour draw with the Kelly twins. How remarkable is that? A 1-hour draw involving Bruiser, Spike Huber, and the Kelly twins. Other matches, Moose Cholak defeated Roger Kirby. Wilbur Snyder defeated Jerry Valiant. There he is, Gentleman Jerry Valiant. As we spoke earlier, Guy Mitchell, here he is back. Bobo Brazil defeated the Hooded Hangman, which formerly the Big Wiz. We talked about him earlier, right? Here he is again. He's now the Hooded Hangman. Rufus R. Jones defeated Paul Christie. And the Great Wojo wrestled to a draw with Steve Regal. So there you're seeing Wojo starting to make his mark here, who would obviously be a major player in the WWA. Another unbelievably underrated talent in professional wrestling. And there you have it. That's all the Christmas shows. Like I said, there might have been other quote-unquote Christmas shows around that time in the future. There is supposedly one from 1982 that was held in Hammond. There are no results. Not any information being found. So this is what we have documented. That's where we stopped, 1981. So hopefully you enjoyed all those results, whatever else. Let's take a quick break, and when I come back, I'll wrap it all up and send you home. So stick around.
On the 12 days of Christmas, the Midwest gave to me Jerry Graham Jr., Baron von Raschke, Wilbur Snyder, Yukon Moose, Cholak, Cowboy Bob Ellis, Valiant Brothers, Pretty Boy Heenan, Bo Brazil, the Great Wojo, Oxbaker, the Blackjacks, and a Bruiser in the wrestling ring. All right, thank you for joining us once again for another Christmas special here on the Dave Dynasty Show. I'm a big fan of Christmas specials, right? Always was when I was a kid, watching the specials on TV, and every cartoon and every show had a Christmas special. So it's always been my goal to have a yearly Christmas special here on the Dave Dynasty Show. And I know we've kind of gotten the groove with this WWA Christmas shows, but I really enjoy it, and people really like hearing them. So that's why I keep repeating that part. So hopefully you did. Hopefully you like that. Hopefully you find us on social media and check out the newspaper clippings that accompany that. Hopefully you didn't make you too ill hearing me sing a couple of Christmas-like tunes, but, it's all good fun, all good merriment. But, again, I know 2020 has been a rough year for people. There's been a lot of things we've had to deal with, but, we're here. We've endured. The year's over. We're not through the mess yet. I understand that. But let's hope for some bright positivity in 2021. And let's take a break here at the holidays and at least remember the things that we have to be happy about. All of us, I know, we have varying situations, but we all have something to be positive about. So focus in on that, catch your breath, and enjoy. Make sure you tell the people in your life that you love them. Do a Zoom call, a phone call, a text, whatever it might be. Just make sure you reach out and tell those people that you love them before they're gone. And let's brace ourselves and be prepared for 2021. And we can do this together, guys. But thank you for joining us. And again, follow us on social media on all those aspects that I mentioned earlier. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Hopefully you have a good holiday. And until next time, wherever you go, whatever you do, be good, be safe, and keep on growing.